Today is Sunday, June 29th, and this is your farm garden tour. It's a warm one today, 83. Yesterday was mid 80s as well, high-ish humidity. And we did a little bit of work out here this weekend. I could have gotten done more, but I just didn't have it in me. So did what we could do. And the 4th of July is coming up. We'll have more hands here to help with some of the maintenance on the garden. But I started out here in the southeast corner because I don't think we ever do. Troy got this panel up for me this week so that now that the cucumbers are starting to grow, they'll have a place to climb. Cucumbers are looking pretty good this year. Last year I had trouble, had to plant them multiple times, but they're coming along. And our tomatoes are coming along nicely as well. We did some manicuring last weekend, and the ones that were tall enough, we put them up, attached them to the cattle panel, so they're starting to come along nicely. The few basil that did survive are starting to grow nice and tall. So yeah, tomatoes, let's say within maybe 2 weeks time we should have some fruit setting on. We've got some blossoms now, and yeah, not even showing you what I'm playing with here. So those guys should be coming on here pretty quick. We've got some more cucumbers over here. These are a variety that should be good for pickling. I've got, I think, 3 different hills over here. These little guys in between are zinnias. They're going mad. There's another cucumber. There's some dill. Man, I wish you could smell this dill. It is so yummy smelling, especially if you're a person that likes pickles. There's another nice specimen of a tomato. Nice and tall. So they're coming along. They're at multiple different stages though. These are set onions. They go in the ground as a bulb, and they've only been in the ground for 2 weeks, and they're starting to come up. Pretty crazy, actually. There's some white ones and some red ones in there, so we'll see how that all shakes down. Got some more tomatoes here, nice and healthy. These are the ones that I bought in town at Sherwood Florist. They were very robust looking when I purchased them. The ones that we have, that we started, that have survived are looking okay now too. This was a package that I bought at Menards, and they are finally starting to come around and put on some new growth. They looked really wimpy for a really long time, and while they were still alive, I was starting to wonder whether or not they were going to do anything. Like, we've got some that are still kind of lagging down here. You can see how those leaves look a little peaked, but the new growth looks nice and healthy. So that is all good news for our tomatoes. There's a nasturtium. These have gorgeous flowers when they get to flowering, and they're a little potent. They act as a really nice pest deterrent. The smellier the herb or the plant is, the better it is in deterring. There's a guy on a motorcycle. The better they are at deterring pests like, I don't know, aphids and white cabbage butterflies and all that fun stuff. So the peas, they are stealing the show this year. So we've got, these are actually the shell peas here. They're starting to bring on blossoms, and these are the snow peas. They're a little shorter in stature, but blooming nonetheless. So within a couple of weeks, we could start potentially having pods on the snow peas that are harvestable. It's probably going to take longer on the shell peas because not only do the pods have to come on, but then the pods have to mature so that you can get some nice peas on the inside. So yeah, got some nice nasty pigweeds here. I did some weeding this weekend. I focused on the beans. because those guys are blooming too. And we'll be coming up on those guys setting on pods here very shortly. Sorry about that. I had to slap a fly off my arm. Mosquitoes aren't too bad this year. I've been getting drilled by the flies.
Flies more than mosquitoes?
Yeah. The little black flies that bite your ankles when you're out in a fishing boat, and deer flies. So we've got some.
And I can confirm that having a dragonfly on your hat does keep them away.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I've seen it work here. So I think we're going to fashion those for our hats and walk around with the dragonflies on our hats because it seems to work. I've got a volunteer sunflower there. You know, he seems to be happy where he is, as does this guy. So we're just going to let him go. Grow where you're planted. These are Kentucky blue pole beans. I looked back at some previous footage from last year, and on the 3rd of July, 2024, most of these beans were at the top of the fence. Now, it was a different variety of bean, and we did get some things in the ground here a little later this year than last, but it's all right. It's all going to come in its own time. The beans are going to produce, hopefully they produce well, like we've experienced in years past, and it's not going to matter whether they start producing mid-July or late July. We'll have beans no matter what. So there's another volunteer sunflower there. Yeah, so the beans are coming. I mean, this one is probably up 4 feet. I think that's probably about, well, it's just over 4 feet because the fence itself is 8. So they're coming. What's cool is that our celery is looking really good this year too. I think that this drip irrigation that we're using has been helpful. Celery wants and needs a lot of water, especially when you're getting ready to harvest it, which, you know, we're quite a ways off that. But I think that it really likes having the water more direct than it was last year when it was being delivered via impact sprinkler. So I think that might contribute some to why the celery is looking good. Here's a zucchini. It's a double zucchini, which means it will have 2 times more than we will ever need. One plant is more than you'll ever need. That is another zucchini.
And there's 3 plants.
And there's 3 plants there. But my mom and my sister's family both enjoy zucchini. And as you know, anyone who grows zucchini is always going to have zucchini to give away. So keep my number handy. These guys over here are zinnia. And we've got the marigolds. And we've got the megaton cabbage. And that guy looks okay. That guy looks okay. This guy looks like he's going to give us a nice, great big cabbage head this year. Oh, is there? Huh.
Oh, yeah, there's 2.
Interesting. Yeah, so that stuff is all coming along, and these are more cabbages of different variety. So yeah, I can't complain. I think that the brassicas are coming along nicely. This guy should be, it says Stonehead Hybrid, but that sure does look like a red one to me.
1, 2, we planted 4, and there's 4 red ones. So
yeah,
that's got to be them. I don't know how that got all screwed up.
What is that hole? Did you make that hole?
No.
Interesting.
Well, look, there's one right here.
Yeah, weird. We'll keep an eye on that.
I saw somewhere online that somebody was saying that those are wormholes.
It could be. Our melons are nice. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do at this point. And we've got a couple of cantaloupe. We've got honeydew. This is acorn or butternut squash, isn't it?
It's butternut. That's acorn. This is butternut.
And then this is new variety of
Super
cantaloupe.
nectar.
It's called Super Nectar. And these are the honeydew.
Is that the same one we grew last year?
No, the honeydew we grew last year, we didn't realize it, but the fruits are only expected to get about the size of a softball, or yeah, about a softball.
It's the first honeydew I've ever had that I actually thought tasted good.
It was pretty tasty. So we have one hill of blacktail watermelon that hasn't come up yet. Troy did reseed that last weekend. It's only had a week in the ground.
I think we might have
So
Duke just stepped in it.
we'll give that a little more time. But our watermelons down there are coming. I actually got this row of beans weeded this weekend. So, blossoms are coming. So a couple weeks, and I think we could have some very young, tender beans to harvest. More brassicas here. More beans here. We got some onions coming up in the dashes. We got some herbs coming up in the holes. It's looking good. It's just too hot and too sunny for me to finish weeding this area. It is a mess with grass. If it was all just weeds, it'd be no big deal. Super easy to pull. But this grass, it's got a support system underneath the dirt that's 4 times as large as what you see above the dirt.
You know, we may have to get drastic with the grass.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But what gives me hope is the fact that the soil looked so different up here in the south end of the garden than it did up here where it was new till, that, you know, within a couple years time we are able to mitigate a lot of it, and it's gone. It's just kind of painful in the in-between time. So there's an old wives' tale, farmer's tale, whatever you want to call it, that your corn should be knee-high by the 4th of July. Can you walk out there? Walk out there. Yeah. He says he has no legs. But stop right there. That one that you just walked by is, I mean, that's
About as tall as
about waist high on Troy. So the corn is growing.
so knee high on a 6'4" farmer.
He says knee high on a 6'4" farmer. My mom said it was more than knee high on a short.
Belly high to a short Swede.
Belly high to a short Swede is how she described it. So, I'm always going to be honest in the farm garden tour because it's not always a bowl of cherries or a bed of roses. We found some of the dreaded potato bugs up here in the potatoes.
This weekend.
Good news is we have not seen any eggs. The ones that have been picked off have been adults, but they don't appear to be proliferating at this point. And, I mean, Duke is a decent-sized dog. He weighs about 70 pounds. And these potato plants are knee-high and taller. They're just absolutely going crazy. And even in the naked areas or the sparse areas down there, we're starting to see them pop up out of the ground. So this is going to be a nice little potato patch. We're going to try and stay on top of those bugs. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's unfortunate that they found it, but I'm hoping that we can get on top of it and stay on top of it. Because it looks like it'll be a mighty nice potato harvest up here. And then my sweetheart husband, I've wanted to plant sunflowers up here all spring, just haven't gotten to it. And he rototilled me a new path and I planted sunflowers. So some of these guys are supposed to get 10 to 12 feet tall. We'll see. They're going in the ground awfully late, but what the heck? Why not? So, hope that your summer is off to a good start. And we'll have 4th of July coming up at the end of this next week. Get a couple extra days up here at the farm to goof around and do some work, do some play. Hopefully more play than work. And yeah, that's about it. Until next time, take care.